So in hardcore Terraria, when you die, you obviously have to delete your character. So I thought, what if I changed that around and you have to delete your world instead of your character? It's kind of like hardcore Terraria Beta Edition. We jumped straight into our character creation, which as per tradition involved us smashing the random button about 30 times until we landed on the Chinese bootleg Josuke and named him accordingly. Of course, we created our world and named it in such a way that the name would not fit. We definitely are going to be stuck with this world that we are now inhabiting. Luckily, our start on this world was filled with huge trees and giving us a lot of wood for all those houses we are going to be definitely building in the future. But without hesitation, we discovered a nice big patch of lead on the right side of our map, already giving us a much needed advantage over this terrifying playthrough. Whilst moving more towards the right, we came across quite the large lake, which we almost got trapped in and drowned because I did not see any blocks below. Luckily, with some quick thinking, we escaped the lake. As we moved further towards the right side, we came across an ice biome. The little puss side of my brain was just like, do not go in there. And so we quickly warped home and continued our journey towards the left side of the map and discovered 2 chests with such amazing weapons like Vine Book and radar. We also entered the desert right next to these chests, which we were immediately met with a vulture.
Why are you running?
Who, let's just say, made our health pour down on us because we were on like not a good amount of health.
Oh no.
Luckily, with my quick thinking, I used a recall potion in the legitimate nick of time and teleported myself back to spawn. Around about this time, we noticed the time of day wasn't looking quite promising, so we needed to find a cave as soon as possible. So I guess in a desperate attempt to try and find caves before nighttime, I think I developed Stockholm Syndrome because we actually went back to the icy caves and explored them. Luckily, minutes of going through the cave, we found an abandoned house which contained some ice skates. So I guess my luck is really turning around now. We jumped down further into the cave, which brought me a mixed amount of emotions. So we smashed a pot, opening up a coin portal. Then a group of ice slimes soon started to attack me. I tried to fight and I tried to run at the same time, dodging their very predictable attacks until my body landed on top of a trap, literally erased my health, doing over 100 damage and put me back to square one with creating a new world. Our second world was called World 2 Electric Boogaloo, as the sequels are always better than the original, right? We jumped into the next world with absolute speed as we had already a lot of wood from the previous world. So we traveled this time towards the left side, where we found the giant trees, which we had tamed such an amazing item as Annoying Blowpipe. I'll give you an annoying blowpipe if not careful, real logic. We then headed back to spawn because both sides of the map contains a desert, and considering our last run-in with the goddamn bird, I was not going to start taking my chances. We basically just made early work on a elevator at spawn, and we burst into a cave which contained our first heart crystal. Oh, thank God of that. Never mind. World 3 had an amazing name of No Big Worm, Please. Considering a slime killed me last time, I think I was starting to see demons at this point. At the start of this world, I decided we desperately needed to gear up a lot more. So we headed to the right side of the map. Luckily, I found a good weapon, and that being a spear. I'm not being sarcastic this time. We then proceeded to use the materials we gathered on the previous world to actually make some armor. It ain't much, but it's something. With our newfound weapon and creations, we were now able to take revenge on those flying demons and killed not one, but 3 vultures. Then we continued towards the right side, which, oh lucky me, had a jungle and an aglet. I think I must have been struck with some form of steroids because instead of running away from the jungle, we ran deep inside the jungle because our monkey brain kicked in. It was like, I go explore jungle. I guess our luck was about to take a turn because we found a staff of regrowth. We found other items like heart crystals, a mace, and diamonds. So hey, maybe the jungle ain't that bad. World 4, I just titled Weed because this makes me want to do a demonetization move. This world, like the title suggests, made me take it a bit slow because I wanted to actually create a house.
Wait, why'd you make a house when you keep dying, you absolute trash player?
To that, I say, So I flattened out the land and started building up the structure. We created the first ball, which was quite, well, large. If you're a long-time subscriber or fairly decently new subscriber of the channel, you might know where this may be going. Psych, this ain't no pee-pee house. We got titty house. We just stored our loot in the underboob and we barely left it complete. I mean, come on. The right bra is just a jumbled mess. Mainly because my smooth brain didn't want to make it smooth and complete, I guess. So we headed off to explore the world. We went into the underground again to try and gain more loot because we still needed plenty of items. We found a snake charming pipe, which is just rope in a pocket, and also a regen ring, which is just a ring that regenerates. We also got some grab potions, so to the sky we then headed in search for some amazing items. Our first item was a balloon. Our second item was disappointment. And the third item was the same, also known as my parents' view of me. Our fourth island contained a star fury with also a side of a heart attack. The fifth island contained another goddamn balloon. By the time we obtained that item, our potion basically ran out. So we headed home and headed back straight down into the mines, which honestly became a truly sadly moment.
The reason being, we were ambushed by a slime and a skeleton. Truly, the most fearsome enemies in all of the game that entered our life.
To another world we shall go. This time we go full sweat mode. I lost all my stuff and the big boomers.
I am no longer messing around anymore.
Our fifth world, we now emphasize our new philosophy and strength, though we named it accordingly. We spawned into the world and grabbed a bit of wood to replace the plenty that we lost previously. Then we found a underground temple. Looks like our luck's turning around. Obviously, we needed to make some better weapons and get some better items. So we headed into the corruption biome and smashed those goddamn and got old mate gun, and then proceeded down into cave spelunking by getting the last heart crystal we needed to complete the first row of heart. We then found other great things in the cave, like some flurry boots and invis potions to help us stay hidden from the enemies that were brutally murdering us. The effect quickly disappeared because my monkey brain acted up again. It was like, ooh, me see enemy, me kill enemy. We then went down and placed a workbench to help us out and created a full set of silver armor, boosting our defense to the moon. As the deeper we got, more items and upgrades we got, but also the harder the monsters got, until our health began to get so low. But not again. We swiftly teleported home and caught a quick breather, which was then cut short, for our desire for loot was still in mind, as we headed to the Sky Islands yet again, which for the first island was a complete disappointment, as we obtained yet another Star Fury. We then didn't end up finding any new islands, so we headed back down into the underground desert after thinking, oh, we're strong enough now for the underground desert, right? A goddamn cactus killed us by doing over 200 damage. World 6, we had to get even sweatier, even stronger. So I decided yet again to name this perfect world for the perfect occasion. Obviously, we had to mine again. This time, we were quite lucky, as we basically gained all the heart crystals we needed to gain full max life free hard mode. We headed back home to build the most basic tower house thingy you could possibly have, as we couldn't build any special house, not since the loss of Frankenboob. The reason for doing this is we needed to get the armsmith, so we could actually gain more bullets for our gun. Also for some other NPCs we needed for later down the track. And we finally were ready to face our first boss of the game, the Eye of Cthulhu. I'm not going to lie, I was quite cocky, as we did not create an arena for this fight, but alas, I had the gun and that's all we needed to win. We bobbed, we weaved through these Eye's attacks. He tried to spawn in all his little demons of darkness, but they they were no match for my superior Terraria skills. He began to transform, getting faster, getting stronger, but not a drop of sweat crossed my forehead as we had this in the bag. Though, as his health began to get lower and lower, our health also began to get lower and lower, dangerously low. We were going to have to start again. No, I could not take it. I could not create another world. We had to kill this eye right here, right now. Now, one more bullet to do the job. Yes, take that, you pink eye rejected Stephen King novel-looking ass. With the Eye of Cthulhu defeated, we know we had to do it again.
Really tempting fate, aren't you, Elppa?
So with the second defeat under our belt, we then headed towards the Crimson to start to prepare for the Brain of Cthulhu. We started smashing the orbs. The orb smashing is because we wanted something like this to occur, which we battled against the Oblin army in quite the pussy way, might I add. But eventually we did defeat the beast and we were victorious. Our next task would be something a little risky because we took a page out of our Mastermode 24-hour video and created my old friend Long Platform. I hope I do not die because I do not wish to create this long-ass beast yet again. After creating the platform, we then had to take care of a few things, and these things lie in the jungle. These, of course, include finding that goblin tinkerer and finishing off our max life. And luckily, we got our 2-in-1 coupon from the jungle. We found the heart crystal lying right next to the bound goblin. So all we needed was one more crystal. One more heart crystal. Just one more, please. Where is it? Finally! There it was. We had 400 HP. So then it was time to head home. So just kidding. We're heading back into the jungle, this time with some spelunkies. We were trying to find more hearts for heart lanterns. So at the end of our little trip, we ended up finding 3 more heart crystals to add to our collection. When we returned to our house, we then purchased the mini shark. So finally, after all that back and forth between home base and the goddamn jungle, we felt we were ready to face the Brain of Cthulhu. As soon as we entered the Crimson alongside our long platform, we quickly applied our buffs and then brought out our mini shark to start shooting at the blood clots. The best way to play it to avoid these little death circles like the actual plague. We were hit a few times, but we were able to make swift recovery. Then we finally shot down the final blood clot and it was time for the brain. As I found out by getting slapped in the face, you do not want to move around when the brain is attacking you. As long as you stand still, you can easily shoot the brain. The amount of knockback from the gun will actually keep it holding back from hitting me. Then all you need to do is concentrate on the teleportation patterns until finally our golden and final bullet penetrated the brain's thick skull and we beat the Brain of Cthulhu. Now it's time for Cielotron. We headed home to craft a new set of armor to help us with the boss, as the silver armor was just not going to be able to cut it in our defense department any longer. Whilst waiting for nighttime, we began work on creating a elevator to try and use our time as promising as possible. But along the way, we found a goddamn spider's nest. Why does this biome exist? It is the worst. And then it began, the fight against Cielotron. Dare I say, the hardest fight in pre-hard mode. The reason being his damage is astronomical. You cannot focus on the head unless you want to take literally forever, as the bullets only do 1 and a crit of 2. So we had to zip around using our grappling hook and rocket boots to try and avoid his many attacks. But also this zombie on the goddamn platform. You get out of here right now. We had to make sure his hands went down at the same time as he starts shooting the auto target skulls as soon as one hand goes down. We then had to use some health bots, as though I might be decent at the game. Even I take a few hits here and there. And so we had to focus on dodging. Took a while for me to get used to the barrage of tracking skulls, almost taking 200 HP off our character. But we then got into the rhythm of things and were able to continue dodging the skulls, keeping a decent amount of damage to the head, focusing our target. So went down his health, starting at 11,000 HP. When midnight emerged, we drove the final bullet into the skull, cracking it open and making us merge victorious. So with the death of the skull, we actually got a miniature one, by the way, and we headed straight for the dungeon. Not to get the loot, but we needed to get bones, my dear friends. And we then headed into the Crimson biome, to the Crimson altar, and crafted the Void Pound, which let us have another inventory. Oh my god, yes. Oh, And that, my dear friends, is going to be it for this video. But do not click off quite yet. If you do want a part 2, or if you want to see more of this, make sure to hit the like so I know that you really enjoyed this video. I will try and stream the rest of this over on my Twitch, but make sure you go and follow my Twitch. That'll be in the link in the description. I've also been streaming there many a days. Also, I do want to say I am back. It has been a bit of a month since I last uploaded. So just in case that I do inevitably, I hope not, disappear again, so make sure you go follow my Instagram and join in my Discord, or then follow my Twitch, as I'm active way more on those than I am my YouTube channel. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to let me know in the comments, and if you are new, subscribe. But anyway, catch you later, guys. See ya.